Hey everybody, we thought we'd do a quick little video of what we experienced at Disneyland Resort in terms of Force Friday, getting to it late. But prior to getting there, we've had a few encounters and nothing but bad luck except for randomly checking in at this Barnes & Noble. Found the two things I was most interested in, which I'll share the past failures. But first, let's just head into Barnes & Noble real quick so I can show you where we found these kind of hidden away for the tiniest Force Friday celebration I've ever seen. So, quick look inside. So unfortunately, we were not able to get to the Downtown Disney Force Friday like we have the past few years. Just wasn't going to work out with work schedule and things like that. When I checked in yesterday, prior to the midnight stuff, they weren't even set up, so there just wasn't much to share from there, and thought, well, we'll head out there after work today. But that said, in the morning, Carmel went out to 4 targets in our area to hunt the Mandalorian and some of the other Force Friday stuff, and she came up with absolutely zero. I mean, everything was just cleaned out. She was basically 3rd or 4th in line of just like 8 or 9 people at the one target to start out the morning. And there was like, well, I take that back. She got the 10-inch Funko Boba Fett from Target. In one of the smaller scale Fets, the Target exclusive. But what we're really looking for was this guy, or particularly the carbonized version, and they said they only got 1 total, like not 1 case, but 1 total. And they said that they had shipped everything else online. It was just weird. They gave a lot of oddball stories, but nothing much. And so it was just a morning of total failure. And then I'm meeting up with her to combine cars after work. And so we just have 1 car going out there, and I thought, well, I'll run into Barnes & Noble because sometimes they have toys, and there was nothing on display really anywhere, as you could see, until just kind of tucked around a corner there was this kind of pathetic small little Force Friday set, and they had 1 Mandalorian and 1 Knight of Ren, and not a whole lot else, as you saw. So with that said, we are going to make our way out to the Disneyland Resort. Hopefully we find at least some cool things to see visually in terms of how they have the merch stuff set up there, if not anything cool to buy. So let's head on out to Disneyland. All right, so starting our Force Friday look at the Disneyland Resort at the Fantasia Shop, the Disneyland Hotel. They have a history of having the merch show up here as well, from Solo, Last Jedi, Force Awakens, etc. So we will see. All right, and in this shop, not a lot to get excited about. Mostly same stuff they've had. Some stale Galaxy Edge stuff. You have a Rise of Skywalker shirt there, and some more of the Sith Trooper stuff. Not much. Definitely Frozen getting the edge on the attention here. So we will move on. All right, next up, Lego store. All right, decent selection there. They're giving out some little like buttons and things like that for people dressed in Star Wars costumes today. All right, I think the next stop will be World of Disney. All right, so World of Disney has nowhere near the setup they have in the past. Real quick before we go over to where things are set up, there are these couple items behind the counter. This is now, we're recording this around 5 o'clock on Force Friday, so it is late into the day, but we saw that there's a lot of drama, it looks like, here last night, as there were no Black Series figures from what we saw online. So that is super strange and unfortunate for those that waited in line, but let's take a look at what they do have at this time. And it looks like they still don't have any Black Series stuff here, so inexplicable, but definitely the case. So it seems like if there was a Force Friday for us to miss the Disneyland Resort, this was the one. I know we would have been disappointed if we were here at midnight and that was all that was really available. The one year we were doing the Disneyland 5K and they had the store open, World of Disney, at 4 in the morning, whatever time it was that we were having to walk over and check in. And that was awesome because we had access to everything without, I mean, we were just being up early for the run. And then whatever was the last Force Friday, we made it more midday. I think it was maybe after work as well, but there was just so much more going on. So definitely a very light Force Friday everywhere we've been. At least I've seen a lot of people have success across the globe, across the country. But for us, lots of failure and so far not much to see here at Disneyland. That said, we're gonna head inside the parks, see if we find anything more there. I think we're gonna head into DCA, then we'll head over to Star Trader Launch Bay, and then finish out at Galaxy's Edge, although we have no hope that they'll have anything at Galaxy's Edge, but we'll see. All right, NOIS and Company, this has been kind of the main spot for Star Wars merch in DCA lately. This is where all the Sith Trooper stuff hit a few weeks ago. But not much great.
I'm going to be right behind you. Thank you.
No Black Series at all, but a few other figures, nothing too outstanding. Most of the store taken up with Haunted Mansion stuff or other just regular Disneyland items. All right, in Disneyland we stopped real quick at the toy shop here in Emporium, which in the past has been packed with cool stuff, and this time not at all. So we're running out of stops here. Maybe this just won't be quite the Force Friday we have expected, or I guess I should already say it won't be the Force Friday we've had in the past here. So interesting. We will continue. And a lot more of the same at Star Trader, which honestly this is the only one that really kind of surprises me, because they do sell Black Series here, but they've got them still in the back, and it's the same Kira and Hodo, and basically I think those are the only two figures they have, just a whole bunch of those. I thought finally they would clear those out with the Skywalker stuff, but nope. All this stuff out here is same old, same old, same old, it looks like. Nothing new amongst all this. We've seen people just in a few minutes being here rifling through the Black Series. Look, you know they've got DJ mixed in there as well. Yeah, same old. So, looks like Launch Bay will be the last place holding out hope that there'll be something cool. Alright, we are heading into Launch Bay, and behind the scenes here, actually was already in Launch Bay, but forgot to do video because it was so disappointing and lame. So going back in just to share what is on display in there, which is basically the same as everywhere else. Where at Launch Bay, the store here was kind of the high-end spot when it originally opened. And I mean, they still got a couple hot toys and things like that, but in terms of what we've seen the last few months, it's been mostly not great stuff. Lots of old junk kind of hanging out, and that's definitely the case for Rise of Skywalker. They don't even have a new display. So they still have the old Last Jedi display out, which is super disappointing, super boring. And then they never put together a solo display, except for they put out this painting for like some in memoriam type vibe. And it still is just sitting here all by itself, but nothing Rise of Skywalker in terms of display stuff. And in terms of the merch, again, just more of the same. Nothing on the higher end, definitely no Black Series. It's something, they no longer are stocking Black Series here, which used to sell for $20. So now instead we've got the new cheap line, but it's $15, so it's not much cheaper, but it's a whole lot cheaper in quality. And it's definitely not a collector-oriented line, which is fine, but not what they've really done here in the past. A lot of the merch too, it's like it looks cool until you get up close, and then it's just kind of not as great quality in many cases. This Knights of Ren shirt, I love the idea of the Knights of Ren, but the material itself, there's a lot of little snags and things like that already on them. Feels like it lasts like one wash or something. So yeah, that's it on the newish stuff, and then it's all the old stuff over there, and no Black Series, no vintage collection, 3 3/4 inch, nothing like that. So, oh well. All right, so we've made our way to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and no surprise, they do not celebrate Force Friday in Batuu. Figured that seemed like an interesting opportunity to do some cool storytelling and somehow bring something in. Not that it would be the exact same merch, but nevertheless, it did not happen. Not too busy in the land again, only a 40-minute wait for Smuggler's Run, but that's all a topic for a different video. So we are gonna make our way out. I guess that's the end of Force Friday for us, which was definitely the least interesting of any that we've ever encountered of this stuff. And that includes what was the Rogue, whatever the Rogue One version was called as well. But anyway, I've never picked up so few things. Just picked up the 3 3/4 inch Knight of Ren, and as I said, a couple of Funko things that we picked up at Target for the exclusives, and then the Mandalorian, the sole Black Series figure that we grabbed. So we'll see if we see them on the shelves in the months to come as Rise of Skywalker gets ready to make its way, I would imagine, more into the park as we get closer, and also onto the shelves of the stores. So with that said, we'll wrap up here. Until next time, see you in line somewhere. All right, I'm back with an epilogue. So thought we'd wrap things up, but had a quick stop at Santa Ana Main Place at the Disney store there and found some cool stuff. So wanted to just kind of attach this on to kind of wrap up the day because it was surprising. But so first off, just in the morning, we talked about this earlier, picked up, they had one of the big 10-inch Boba Fett's at the Target we went to, smaller guy as well, picked up a couple of vintage collections then. Then over at Barnes & Noble, picked up Knight of Ren, as well as the Mandalorian. And then traffic was rough, and I was like, well, let's just stop and check it out. And they had the Off-World Jawa, as well as the second Sister Inquisitor in the first edition boxes, which was cool. And then I also got these prints free with that purchase from the Disney store, so that was pretty cool as well. So in the end, really ended up finding everything they wanted to find, just kind of in an odd order. And so it ended up being pretty decent for us Friday. Not where I expected. I thought this video was going to be all about all the cool stuff we'd see at Disney and the, you know, new backdrops and photo ops and displays for Rise of Skywalker and all that. And Disney didn't deliver at all. Oh, there's the dogs, but we had some cool stuff there. So with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up this video. I wanted to just try to do something a little bit different in this season with some toy stuff. We talked about doing more toy videos in general this year, and we've not done that, and thought, well, with all the haunt stuff, let's go ahead and throw this in there as well. So we'll wrap up here. Until next time, we'll see you in line somewhere.